is time for Major Moves. This is the segment where Tyrah puts a spotlight on millennial and Gen Z entrepreneurs.
Today, I'm introducing you all to Varun Puri, co-creator of Yoodli, an artificial intelligence software here in Seattle that helps people with their public speaking, whether it's prep for a big speech or even a date. Here's Major Moves. First, before we get into Yoodli itself and what it's doing for people, can you just start off by telling us about why you fell into this and why tech?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. So there's a why tech and why Yoodli. I think on the why tech piece, I grew up in India. I came to the US for college. I worked in Silicon Valley for several years. I was at Intuit and I was at Google. And I've just seen time and again where technology has this incredible ability to give access to folks across the world that would otherwise not be possible. When I was at Google, I worked on this project where we were using invisible lasers to bring internet to rural India and rural Africa, and the impact was just magical. And we've seen technology platforms like Duolingo, Google, Grammarly have the same kind of impact. So I always knew I wanted to do something in the tech space.
And here you are. You started Yoodli when you were only 27, which is very young, in my opinion, to come up with something so advanced. Artificial intelligence is rapidly growing. Why did you choose to start Yoodli, and what is it? Can you explain for those of us who might not understand the concept of artificial intelligence just yet?
Yep. Look, at the problem that we're trying to solve at Yoodli is simple. Too many smart people in the world struggle to speak with confidence, right? I've been there before this interview or before going on stage or a public speaking engagement where we are nervous, where we are talking out loud to a mirror, a camera, a stopwatch. 2 out of 3 people in the world are terrified of public speaking. The dream behind Yoodli is, can we build an AI-powered speech coach, a private, real-time, and judgment-free coach that gives you feedback the same way a friend, a colleague, a spouse would on your tone, intonation, body language, filler words, your content, your engagement. And the hope behind Yoodli is, can we use this to help folks who may not have otherwise backed themselves while speaking?
In public speaking, I mean, it's not an easy feat. We all struggle with it, including me as a news anchor at times. It takes a while to get used to being on that public stage. Can you describe some of the reasons why somebody might use Yoodli? The way I found out about Yoodli is for practice with dating, not for myself, but that is how I discovered it. There was an article about how Yoodli can help you on a first date. Can you describe some of the different options?
Yeah, it's terrifying to practice for any important speaking event. This could be a job interview, a salary negotiation. I need to ask my boss for a vacation and my boss is mean to me. This could be before a big date. Like, how do I have small talk and be funny, and what do I even say? It could be before a presentation. And I think it's a problem we all relate to so deeply that if there's a way to help folks without feeling judged, we could have a pretty big impact.
Well, I would love to see how Yoodli works. So we're here looking at the Yoodli homepage.
Great. So if you're familiar with Grammarly, Yoodli is like Grammarly for speech. It's Duolingo for speech. It's Strava, Peloton, Apple Health for speech. It gives you private, real-time feedback. It's being used by organizations like Google, Toastmasters, TEDx organizers, etc. So I can come and I can sign in. It's at yoodli.ai, and it's completely free of cost to start. I can come to Yoodli and I can practice for an interview, a presentation. I could upload any speech. Let's say I have an upcoming speech where I'm going to be talking about Yoodli. So I'm going to come and practice with AI. So here we go. And I'm just going to practice my sample presentation as I would in front of a mirror or a camera. Hi guys, I'm like, really excited to talk to you about my project. I think it's crazy. It's unfair that 2 out of 3 people in the world struggle to speak with confidence. And Yoodli is kind of cool. It's, this AI speech coach that gives you private, real-time, judgment-free feedback on how you communicate. It's like your smart mirror that's by your side all the time. By no means was that the world's best presentation, but then Yoodli takes on the audience's persona and goes back and forth with me to help.
What specific evidence or data do you have to support your claim that 2 out of 3 people struggle with public speaking?
Oh my God, I'm really, really nervous. I don't know how to answer this question. I'm talking so quickly. Well, like my mom is afraid, and like my best friend's afraid, and like my dad's not afraid. So that's like 2 out of 3 people, and I don't know how to handle this. obviously I was messing around. I hope nobody ever presents like that. But the idea is I came, I practiced, I was really nervous. Yoodli took on my audience persona and went back and forth with me. And in a matter of seconds, I'm going to get a report on how I did with a transcript right here.
Wow.
With the questions that came from the audience, as well as a report card. Like, Varun, here are follow-up questions your audience might have for you.
All right, well, Varun, you're definitely making major moves. Thank you so much for joining me for the segment today.
Thank you.
And good
it has
luck.
been a pleasure. Thank you.
I think it's also just such a creative idea, and we're still really trying to grasp the concept of artificial intelligence, but now we have AI to help us with public speaking.
Right.
But, I mean, we had to just
We learned it in
figure it
school
out.
and then kind of figure it out in lots and lots of practice. But I love this idea that
Yeah.
someone can just use AI to figure out how to, perfect their public speaking or at
Yeah.
least start. I also like how it was being used too to figure out like if you're going on a first date, how to begin those conversations, and there's so many other uses for it too.
Absolutely.